everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Shubham and today we'll be talking about initials and medicals. My channel's name is no longer Aviation Prophecy, it's Fly with Shubham now. Before we begin, I request you to please hit the subscribe button below so that I know that all of you are watching and supporting me. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you about my book, How to Become a Pilot for Dummies. The updated version is on Notion Press and Flipkart. It's a small guide which contains everything related to flying academies, medicals, exams, computer number, after CPL and the most basic details any initial student or aspiring pilot would require. The links for Notion Press and Flipkart are in the description below. The first thing which comes to my mind when I start speaking of initials and medicals is what are they in the first place? What are initials? What will be your first step right after school? How will you become a pilot right out of 12th? How do you get a job in the airline? It all starts from the very basic initials and medicals. The first step for every initial student out there should be to get their medicals done first. It is one of the most important steps in the field of aviation. It tells you whether you are capable and fit for duty or not. So you should get your medicals done first. It's nothing to be scared about. Most people get their medicals done after a lot of flying hours and after a lot of training and after giving exams or everything. So that's quite a lot of waste of time for them if they turn out unfit. So the best opinion from my side is to get your medicals done first. As a future pilot, it's your duty to stay fit in this extraordinary field of aviation. Most of the initial students right after school don't really know what they have to do. What steps should they take so that they can properly get themselves aligned into this field. To do that, the proper first step for them should be to get their medicals done. Class 2 medical first, followed by a Class 1 medical. Class 2 medicals can be done by DGCA approved Class 2 doctors, whereas a Class 1 medical is usually done at the Air Force centers, the list for which is given on the DGCA website. After the medicals, the next step would be to go for your computer number. Computer number requires a lot of paperwork which has to be submitted on the new portal which is known as the Pariksha website. It's a new updated portal. It's quite easy to submit papers now because everything is now online. After submitting your application online and the hard copy by post, you will get your computer number within a 15-day time period. That's the usual time DGCA and Pariksha takes to allot you a computer number, if all documents are correct and in order. Documents required for computer number vary board to board. You'll have to check your board accordingly, and the documents are stated on the Pariksha portal when you're registering as a new candidate. After you've got your computer number, the next step and one of the most major steps in aviation is to give your exams. Now for a CPL student, there are 7 exams which you have to give. The very first is meteorology, second is navigation, third is regulations, fourth is technical general, fifth is technical specific of the single engine aircraft that you'll be flying, and the sixth is technical specific of the multi-engine aircraft that you'll be flying in your training. The 7th exam would be radio telephony, that's RT. The exam pattern has recently changed because of the update of the new portal from Udan to Pariksha. Now the exams have 3 options, 3 MCQ options in each of the questions, and the technical general exam and specific exams are also being conducted online on computer. The right procedure, which will save you a lot of time, would be to give your exams and medicals first and then go for your flying. Because then, usually your flying happens faster than usual. Once you're done with your exams and paperwork, you can choose a good flying school anywhere in India or outside, depending on your preferences. One of the most important things to look at when joining a flight academy is the fleet, the maintenance, and the per hour cost they're taking from you, and the installments. If you go for flying after your exams, you'll be able to catch up the theory with the practical much easily, and you'll be able to understand the aircrafts much better because you'll know what's inside there. You might not get proper appropriate time for studying for your exams in the first place if you fly and give exams together. So the best recommendation from most of the pilots today would be to go for your exams first and then go for flying. Now clearing exams is another matter. It depends on your point of view. Some people study on their own and clear all of the exams in the first attempt. Some people take classes and go for exams. Now before we end this video, I would request all of you to comment below what sort of content do you want to see next? What sort of content do you want to see next? What type of videos do you want to see more often? Thank you so much for giving me your time. Do share my videos with as many aspiring pilots and initial students as possible.